some of you may have be more excited for that than not, but if you, by chance, don't have your consent in, or don't wanna be that, you might see who can switch with someone, so, I wanna make sure you're comfortable.
Excuse me for the interruption. I need the following students to the library for math testing. Madison Evans, Riley Fetter, Jenna
Real life
Fiakowski,
education right here.
Kaylee Fletcher, Alexis Flores, Delaney Frasteri, Chastity Fuller, Alyssa Galindo, Joseph Garcia, Kaylee Garner, Keely Gomes, Daniel Gonzalez, Hannah Gray, Sable Gray, Dane Hamblin, Kaylee Hammett, Mason Hammett, Mary Hatch, Hunter Heflin, Philip Hensley, Emma Huser, Sandra Hidalgo, Zachary Higley, Caroline Howell, Grady Hunt, and Caitlin Jones, all to the library for math testing, please.
Alright, so we can get back on track here. First thing I wanted to do is I want to thank you guys for participating yesterday. Hopefully yesterday was kind of an interesting experience for you. I like doing things like that for a number of reasons. One of the things I didn't bring up that I think is really useful from an English perspective, testing perspective, and in other areas is that exercise of being able to pull information out of the text and teach it to someone else is really important. Okay, there's no better way to demonstrate that you understand material than being able to reteach it to someone. And that's something that we'll do in different contexts and different forms periodically in this class, because it's going to benefit you not only in social studies, but English and anywhere you test. Do you have that, Mr. Charles? Thank you. Okay, so, but all in all, I thought it was a pretty successful experience. There were obviously areas for growth, areas where we were stronger and weaker, but that's what we're here to do. We're here to identify those areas and grow. And so, you know, big round of applause to the people that stepped up and really worked hard to make this the experience that it was. To recap where we're at, because it's been a little while with having illness last week and then that activity yesterday. The Industrial Revolution, where we are to this point. We start with a bunch of inventions. Who can give me examples of inventions that were covered?
The steam engine drill,
Steam engine drill, why is that significant?
because it allowed them to drill for oil that was previously inaccessible and stuff like that.
Okay, great. Trevor, do you have something?
No, not really.
No, for a second.
Typewriter,
Typewriter, okay, why is that significant?
because they were able to get more productivity out, like in writing and stuff like that, and also they got women to work.
Yeah, puts women in the workforce, creates new clerical jobs, makes office work more efficient. Awesome. Telephones, right? Why is that significant? Communication purposes, right? Starts to link the world together. Trevor,
Bessemer process,
Bessemer process, why is that significant?
because it allowed for better buildings with steel instead of iron.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, better buildings, we see skyscrapers, additions to our infrastructure, the emergence of rail, okay? Yeah,
The light bulb,
light bulb,
and it made it so people could work longer.
work longer, okay? It changes the workday. Okay, awesome, Aaron.
Mass-produced electricity.
Mass-produced electricity, okay? And that goes hand in hand with the light bulb as far as, okay, great job. So, that's nice. It's been a while since we've gone over this, it seems like we've retained it, that's good. And these inventions, they lead to industry, explosion in industry, and opportunity. And with opportunity comes opportunists, okay? We get all these great advancements, and don't get me wrong, it's never bad to seize opportunity. I don't want you years from now to see an opportunity and be like, oh, Mr. Halverson put being an opportunist and seizing an opportunity on the frowny face side. It's not that, okay? This is America, land of opportunity. We want to seize opportunity, okay? But every time that there is opportunity, we end up sometimes with some unintended consequences. Does anybody remember what some of those were? Yeah. Pollution, right? Okay, pollution was a big deal, okay? And that, when we have problems like that, we have to bring up, okay, how do we address it? Okay, what's the right way? And these are questions that, as citizens, there are a lot of potential answers, but we have to decide what we personally feel is the best approach. Lane,
There's also the treatment of the workforce.
treatment of the workforce, right? Okay, conditions are generally not good. People took advantage of them, people in power used that power to create monopolies. Exactly. Okay, good. Anybody have anything else? Any scandals that we can reference?
Oh,
Yeah.
there's the, oh gosh, I had the one that was involved with, Secretary of the War, whatever, what was that one called? I can't remember.
Yeah, if you had the Secretary of War and other members of Congress involved in it,
Yeah,
anybody off that prompt, anybody other than Mark, he's done a great job contributing. Anybody remember what that was called? It's such a great thing to reference, something that'll probably be on the test at some point. The credit
credit mobilier,
mobilier,
mobilier.
yeah. It's kind of spelled that way, but pronounced this way. Okay, who can explain what happened there? Anybody?
I can.
I know you can, but I need someone else.
One second.
So I appreciate your enthusiasm. We want to incorporate other people. Who can give me an explanation of what that was? Lane.
It was a company that received 2 or 3 times the payment from stockholders and pocketed the rest to
Hold on
complete
just
the
a second.
job.
If he's talking, please don't. Okay? I have a hard time hearing, and I'm a big respect person. Okay?
Say it again.
Yeah, please do.
It was a company that was paid to do a job and it received 2 or 3 times the payment from stockholders and pocketed the rest.
Okay.
So it they only needed this much to do the job, but they took 2 or 3 times the amount of that and pocketed whatever extra.
Good job, great. Okay, and there are other examples that we could go down, but if you've retained this much, you're probably well on your way to being able to, when presented with an essential question on the test, being able to knock it out of the park, which is good. Okay? So if we're not quite there, that should be a cue that we need to review. Moving on today, how business evolves. Okay? The Industrial Revolution has created a lot of opportunity. Okay? And this reshapes not only the industries that exist, but how business presents itself. Okay, what types of characteristics businesses have. Okay, and so to get on this today, I'm going to need us to start a business. Okay, from anybody on this side of the room, what's our business going to sell? Doesn't matter, anything. Soda. Okay, we are going to sell soda. So on our study guide sheets in our center square, we need to draw a little bottle of soda.
What did you say, how much?
Right in the center, we're a soda bottle. That is our soda company in the Evolution of Business study guide sheet.
Where are we going with this?
It'll be on the flip side of the study guide sheet we used yesterday.
We're drawing a soda bottle in the middle?
Drawing a soda bottle. And that is us. Okay? So I'll put a big red circle, however you want to denote. This is us. That's our business. And I have good news for you, because of recent innovations in industry. Actually, I might be underselling this. We need pie. Okay, probably put it up in the top corner of your notes, a little pie chart right here. This will say is a $3 billion industry.
Holy crap.
That's probably way more than that.
Yeah, I was,
Yeah.
in my head when you guys picked a business, I was thinking like cupcakes or something. So, yeah, soda might be more than that.
Well,
Okay, so this is our little pie chart. This is that industry. Okay? So there's plenty of opportunity for us to be successful with our business in this industry. Okay? The only question is, how successful do we want to be? What is our ambition?
To have some competition.
Okay? Well, we want to outbeat competition. But when we think about it, what type of life do we want to provide for ourselves? Some people might say, well, you know what? I would love to make, what's a wage you'd like to make in a year?
500 grand.
120,000.
500 grand, okay? Someone might say, like Lane, I would love to make, this is not to scale, I would love to make 500K. I would like that much of that market share. That's their goal. But, why just 500K?
Because that's a life that I'd like to live. Maybe
And
500
that,
a year.
and that's great, right?
Let's see.
Anybody feel like they'd want more?
oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Trevin's on board with that. How much do you wanna make a year, Trevin?
I'll make a million a year.
You wanna make $1 million a year, okay? Okay, so Trevin wants to make $1 million. Anybody wanna make more than that? $1 million goes a long way, but I could probably spend it pretty quick. You can spend it, Cody? How much do you wanna make a year?
About 3 million.
Okay, Cody wants to make $3 million. Okay, hold on. Okay, voice is down, I just heard something. Yeah,
I'd like to make at least $1 billion a year.
okay. Merle would like to make $1 billion,
At least.
at least,
Wants to draw this all out?
at least. If it helps you, I would.
You get the right.
Okay, someone else over here said something I thought was pretty interesting. Who was it that said, I wanna make the whole thing? Was that Trevin?
Yeah.
Who thinks there are people out there that would say, that's my pie,
Donald
I
Trump.
want the whole pie,
Donald Trump.
right?
Hey, that's something.
And there are people out there, examples of it, and that's what we're gonna talk about today. People have differing levels of ambition, and this is true back then just as much as it is today.
Yeah, if you aim for the moon, you might end up in the stars kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But somebody says, why stop there? Why stop there? I want the whole pie, that's my pie. $3 billion a year, that sounds pretty good to me. I think I could live on that. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
So, if I want this whole pie, if that's my ambition, what do I have to do?
Have to counter the market.
Well,
You have to like produce and sell all by yourself.
yeah, I have to produce and sell all that. What has to happen with these people?
You have to knock them out.
They have to go bye-bye, right? Get off my pie. It's my pie, not your pie, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we gotta get rid of them. So what we're gonna talk about is a few techniques. We're gonna identify some vocabulary terms, some things that go on with business. And then, if we have time, we'll give you guys a chance to study some specific examples of these techniques in practice. But the first thing we need to understand is, how are we gonna knock these people out of our pie? Okay? I want all of it.
You either buy them out.
Okay? Well, the first thing we're gonna do. Okay, well, I actually have a plan. I love the contributions, but I actually
That's not a good idea.
follow along with me.
What if I
Yeah.
do identity theft?
Killing them in identity theft is not gonna be on the test. So, probably not good. So, okay, the first thing, and you'll see it up there, it's called vertical integration.
That's not how you spell.
Yeah. That's not how you spell vertical.
It's early, I'm not woke up. Okay. Cody, stay with me. Alright, thanks. Okay, vertical integration. How this works. To make our soda, what do we need to make our soda?
Carbonated water.
Okay, so we need like a source of carbonation. We need syrup,
Chemicals.
chemicals, a little nondescript, but yeah.
Place to produce it.
Okay. Well, we do need a manufacturing plant. We'll say the manufacturing plant, that's our business right there. We're looking at just for resources. We need source carbonation, we need syrup. What about like plastic for the bottles?
Yeah.
Okay, so we need plastic,
Or aluminum.
or aluminum, whatever you guys wanna put. So in order to do this, we need these different resources. And then in order to get our soda to people, what do we need?
Vehicles.
Trucks, right? So I'll just put a tire here,
Or trains.
however you guys wanna represent like a truck.
But there's like other ways to get into.
Yeah, there's trains and planes and.
Trucks,
boats.
trains, planes. Okay, however you wanna symbolize distribution.
I'm gonna put a Chevy symbol.
Chevy symbol works.
I don't think I've done that.
You
The
won't
most-
get it anywhere though.
The most effective note you
Get
can,
further than your
okay,
Ford.
voices please. The most effective note that you can take is the one that makes sense to you.
So at least we'll start with.
Okay, so we need resources
We need a name.
and we need distribution. Okay? Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
yep.
I wish I would.
No, okay, so we need resources and distribution.
Oh, thanks.
And the way vertical integration works is it says we're gonna control the resources and distribution, because our competitors will say Lane Soda Company and
Jack.
Brittany's Soda Company.
Oh, it's even more than that.
I kinda
Okay.
like bigger.
I am not very good at art. Okay.
I can tell.
So Lane Soda Company and Brittany's Soda Company, they need those same things too.
Basically, like,
So if we can control the supply
Or the distribution. You can
and or
control
the
it.
distribution, we can provide ourselves an advantage over these companies where we can crush them.
So basically stabbing them where they can't see it
Yeah.
until it's too late.
Hey, look, I can get my supplies super cheap, but I'm gonna rake you over the coals for supplies. Now I can sell my product cheaper. Bad news for you. I can distribute my product cheaply, easily, get it to consumers. You, I can rake over the coals for transportation. You get crushed. Does that make sense? Vertical integration, vertical up and down this little chain. You control that, squeeze out these guys. Okay? So we just killed Brittany's dreams, Lane's dreams dead. Sorry.
I'll just
There'll
go
always be a job for you at Aldi Soda.
Yeah, that's why I wanna make $500,000. I don't wanna be the owner. I mean, I just wanna help run it. I-
Okay, the next way we can talk about
make so much money.
I'll just
I
go
wanna get
build
that
the
you
wall.
retire.
horizontal,
I really want to buy now. Invisible eye.
horizontal integration. And let me know if I'm ever in the way of the notes so you can't see it. Horizontal integration works this way, right? We still have a couple soda companies left. We have, who was $1 million? 3 million was Trevin, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Trevin Soda Company left,
I don't know.
and we have, was it Mark's?
That one was mine.
What a good code.
Cody.
What?
Oh, okay. So we have Trevin and Cody Soda Companies left. But I now control a lot of the market because vertical integration, and I still have that advantage over them. So what might they decide to do?
Team up.
Yeah,
Team up.
they could team up against me, or they could say, hey, if you can't beat them, join them, right? Maybe my company is willing to buy their company to get rid of the competition, and they can make a nice little payday out of that. Okay, so horizontal integration is where my company decides to buy those companies, okay? So with vertical integration, you're trying to control the supply. And distribution. With horizontal integration, you're trying to buy others out.
So it's like Chevron. Chevron owns pretty much every single gas station, but they just keep their other names and they take into the business.
Exactly, that's a great example of horizontal integration.
Sounds like Rockefeller.
Yep. Him too, and we will talk about him. Okay. Let's take a break from note taking. Okay, because this, make sure you guys get that. This leads to an economic theory, one that's present today. But we'll start talking about it by talking about moths. Who's heard of Charles Darwin? Okay, quick, in a nutshell, from over here. Who was Darwin? What did he teach? He came up with a theory of evolution, natural selection, where certain animals in nature have qualities and traits that are advantageous and beneficial, and because of that they flourish. A perfect example of that, and I wish I had a way to blow this up bigger, is the peppered moth. This is gonna look to most of you, even in the front, like just a bunch of spots.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna be able to see it. But if you trust me, there's a moth in there, perfectly camouflaged. Peppered moths live in England, okay? They have white speckled trees like that. They blend in, nature's camouflage, it's awesome, okay? If you're a moth guy, which no one is.
Awesome.
Yeah. In 1811, they think these types of moths only come in this color, okay? What we find out though, is a little bit like black sheep, there are actually a brown variety of the same type of moth. This brown variety doesn't do good though, because when he lands on that tree, he sticks out like a sore thumb, right? What happens in nature if you're a moth and you stick out like a sore thumb?
You get young.
You get eaten, right? Does not end well for you, okay? You guys get kind of the example of what it looks like for them? Okay, with industrialization comes, and we had said, what happened with Cleveland? The river's on fire, horrible examples of pollution, right? Remember when they talked about the smokestacks, the thick billowing smoke coming out? Okay, well this is a common theme, not just in Cleveland, but across the world as it industrializes, and England's not exempt from this, okay? And the soot from the smokestacks as they industrialize starts to turn the bark on the trees dark, okay? And when it turns the bark on the trees dark, this is what happens. Now who sticks out like a sore thumb?
The white one.
The white one, right? Okay. In what is probably one of the best demonstrable cases of natural selection, in 1811, we don't even know that this guy exists. Okay, he's unknown. By 1890, because of pollution and industrialization, 98% of these moths are now dark. And only 2% of the white ones struggling around. Okay, it's natural selection. Those that are best suited to thrive in the environment do, and the other ones die off. Okay? This leads to a concept called social Darwinism. Okay? And what social Darwinism essentially says is the exact same thing. If you are equipped to succeed and to thrive, you will. Okay, this is where we can start taking notes again. Social Darwinism is a term. What social Darwinism says, those who are well suited to thrive will. Okay? It's kind of my own word definition of it. If you have your own word definition that makes more sense to you, use that. And as people consolidate businesses, and power consolidates, and fewer people control more of the industry, people say, hey, look, this is natural. It happens in the natural world, it should happen in the business world. Okay? We shouldn't intervene, we shouldn't regulate. It's the natural order of things. Those who are well suited to thrive are going to succeed. And those who don't, what does that kind of say about them? Or attitudes about them?
That you fail.
Okay? Failure is natural for some people. Maybe they're not as well adapted. Maybe they're lazy. Maybe they don't work as hard. Maybe they don't have as many skills. Okay? Who likes this theory? Because it makes them feel good about themselves. Okay? I'm thinking, not personally, but what type of person likes that theory?
Kind of people that are set to succeed.
Yeah, successful people, right? The brown moth loves that theory. Come, 1890, when he's 98%. Okay? The little white moth that's struggling to get along because things have changed, not so much. Okay? And we see this type of debate in today's society, Should we intervene? Should we let things play out? Is it the natural order of things that some people will become super successful because they're well suited, and then they'll pass those qualities and characteristics on, and some people are just destined to fail because they aren't adequately equipped.
Yeah.
You know, that's absolutely
When Darwin.
something that a lot of people think. This is a very alive and well theory in today's day and age. And it's never something that I'd say, hey, this is right or wrong. But it's something we debate, we discuss, you know, what if anything should we do to help people on the bottom out? You know, these are social issues that we deal with. But this emerges from this,
Take away welfare and we can enjoy ourselves after we earn crap.
okay? And like I said, this is not probably the time to have that debate, but it is a great debate to have, and one that will be had throughout your lives. You know, you guys are gonna see it when we talk about the economy, because there are very different approaches to it. Okay, and so that emerges from that. 3 more things we'll talk about really quick. Ways that we see this put into practice. You should know, going into this chapter, what a holding company is. A holding company in a nutshell exists to do one thing, to gobble up other companies. Okay? Holding companies exist to buy other companies. Okay, that is a great example of horizontal integration. Okay, so you hear that term, that's what it is. Their goal, in a nutshell, they're trying to get all the pie. My pie. You gotta buy all the other companies, it's all mine. Okay? You have trusts. How a trust works, without formally merging companies, without formally purchasing it, what you do is you take all the different companies.
Is this definition supposed to go under where it says trust agreements?
Yes. Okay? You have company A, company B, company C. Companies don't wanna actually sell themselves to each other, but they wanna work together. Okay? Because together, you've got the whole pie, which means you have control of the industry and the market.
It's like Chevron owns Sinclair.
Yeah.
Sinclair has a different name.
And I'd have to look at the details on whether they've been formally purchased and have just retained that name, because some companies do that, and so it is an actual form, legal merger.
So like,
Other times they are still separate entities, and I don't know the specific details on that particular group, yeah.
So it's kinda like AT&T buying out Cricket, right?
Okay, but think of this as, this would be AT&T buying out Cricket.
Oh,
This would be like AT&T working with Cricket,
oh.
saying, hey, we're gonna take our stocks, and you're gonna take your stocks, and we're gonna put it in a trust. And this trust is gonna run, we're still separate companies, but they're gonna run our separate companies coordinated with one another.
so it's like with the railroads, when they were like, hey, everyone needs this, let's give high prices instead of fighting over low prices.
That's probably the best example you can give conceptually of how it works, okay? So you have, we'll say with the trust agreement, you place control of your companies, of multiple companies. So they can work together. You control the market. Okay? And with things like holding companies, combining with trust agreements, taking existing companies and working together, what we end up seeing is an America that transforms from many small businesses to large corporate giants. Okay? We see big business like that today, and again, these are part of our everyday discussion, you know? Is it good, is it bad? And there are pros and cons to everything.
You know what's crazy? Is a third of America's economy annually is channeled through Walmart.
It's crazy. It's amazing how, and Sam Walton would be a great modern day example of how, you know, wealth and control of resources funnel into, you know, fewer people control more.
And corruption.
Potentially, this becomes a nuanced discussion
Besides
which
the point.
that detracts from what we're trying to get at here. Okay, we're out of time today. Tomorrow we will touch on the robber barons, and then we will give you an opportunity to study about Andrew Carnegie and John D. Rockefeller, and for one lucky student to teach us about Andrew Carnegie. Because if I talk this much 2 days in a row, that's not good for anyone, okay? So, someone will be randomly selected to get to do that. Anyway, thank you.
You got it, Corey.